I think your story is very, very credible. We're going to walk through it and talk about it today, but thanks for coming to Austin, Texas, sir. Nice to have him here. We'll turn his mic on for folks. Dlnney, where to begin here? I mean, let's talk about you personally, where you're from, where you grew up, and then we'll start talking about the first time you ever heard from your mother that a certain person was your father.
Right. My name is Dlnney Williams. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm at age 30 right now. And all my life I've been told that Bill Clinton was my father by my mom, my aunt, and other relatives that grew up with me.
Continue. I know you haven't been on TV before. You're live right now. Please keep going.
But anyway, yes, I want to know the truth about Bill Clinton being my father. And that's all I ask is the truth.
Do you think Bill Clinton's your father?
Yes, sir.
Instead of just going through your whole history, and we're going to do it and talk about it, play clips of Clinton being asked about you by the press, and you won't respond. We're teleprompter free here. Out of the gates, Bill Clinton will be watching this. This is undoubted. Right. Obama responded to us yesterday, Hillary a few weeks ago. They watch every day. This shows in thousands of newspapers a day, all over every cable channel.
Yes, sir.
We didn't do some pre-interview here. You just flew in at like 11 o'clock today. You just got here about an hour ago.
Right.
Looking at that camera right there, sir, camera 4. Bill Clinton, William Jeffrey Clinton will either be watching this live or he'll watch it later. What do you want to say to Bill Clinton? Camera 4.
I'd just like to ask and say to Bill Clinton that I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. I want my kids to know their grandfathers. And I like to just, meet them, get to know them, and I never had a father in my life, so, it's hard. It's difficult in explaining it,
It's okay. Go with it. It's all right. I've talked to you in private. I understand coming from the middle of Arkansas to now being with the top link on Drudge, and you can see yourself right there and listening and all over the world. But just tell it like it is. You believe Bill Clinton's your father. Your mother always told you that. He sent you money, all the rest of it.
Right.
He won't respond to it. So Bill Clinton and Hillary are watching right now.
Right.
Talk about an epic story. The videos on your Facebook. It's on InfoWars. Trying to go over the fence at the governor's mansion. You wanted to meet your daddy. You're meeting him right now digitally.
Right.
Right there, my friend. What do you want to say?
I like to say, my name is Dlnney Williams. I like to just say, I want to be able to experience that having a father in your life, you know what I'm saying? And now I got kids of my own. I want my kids to know their grandfather. They ask me all the time, who's your dad, So, it's my chance now and get my story out and letting the world know who I am and who's my father and, the truth about everything.
Well, the Daily Mail has the headline, Bill Clinton's grandkids, will he look into meeting with them? We'll go back to that in a moment, but just starting at the beginning.
Okay.
Break down how you grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas. You're now in Hot Springs. What it was like and when you first began to hear this.
Okay. Well, growing up in Arkansas, it was like everybody knew. Everybody, they'd say, that's Bill Clinton's son. And everywhere I go, So, growing up, it was rough growing up. We barely was making it. We was broke. My aunt, she worked 2 jobs trying to raise us, me and my little brothers and sisters. Everybody in Arkansas at the time, I was coming up, knew about me being his son, preachers and all. So I just want to be able to just, have this chance and get myself out and explaining who I am and why am I facing the world today to reach my father.
I noticed in the video interview we did that we aired, you talked about wanting to meet him because you heard he was sick, in your own words.
Right. I heard he has Perkins, if I'm not mistaken, heart problems, and they, people ain't living long these days, so I'm telling when he may pass, so now it's, now it's my chance to be able to get my story out and get it heard to meet my father before that happened, before something tragic happened to him.
Well, we can go to Joel Gilbert's website or WorldNet Daily and show some of the articles while you're speaking.
Right.
You next to Bill Clinton for TV viewers watching. I mean, how much you look like him. But I remember back at the time that when I first had your aunt on, it's got to be 20 years ago, almost like 19 years ago, that this is what I was getting from the state police and others. So let's get into what you talk about in the video. When you first started hearing this, before you heard about it, your mother tried to get you into seeing with the governor's mansion. Then later you tried to get on the property when you're older. Let's go through this, Dlnney.
Okay, well, it was my aunt, actually. My mom had lost custody of us. My aunt had got
Sure, your aunt, right?
Yeah, right. My aunt had got custody of her, my aunt Lucia. So one day she was like, I want, she took me down to the governor's mansion. And she was like, we're going to let him know that you're his son. So we went down there, and she had to sneak through the gates. And she went up to the door, and the butler answered the door. And she asked for Hillary. And the door was slammed in her face, and we was told to get off the property. So she took off running, snatching me by one arm, and all I can remember was my arm hurting, and she snatching me to jump over the fence. And she asked me all the time, do you remember me taking you to the governor's mansion? I said, yeah, I remember. I remember you snatching my arm and taking off running. So, it's never went away. I mean, he have delivered Christmas gifts to my home by Arkansas State Troopers. He have paid my mom under the table. Up until the time he made president in 1993, he stopped doing anything for us. So I believe in my heart that he tried to be in my life.
Well, this is a narrative that comes out from everybody that Hillary runs the show. Hillary's the boss.
Right.
She actually manages him and uses his issues as a control mechanism. From your research, who is it that kept you away from the man you believe to be your father?
Correct. I think Hillary is the one that kept me away. I mean, as a married couple, your decisions are one. So I'm sure she know of me, and I'm sure she had parts in with all the publicity, all the stories in the press that, falsely reports we have taken the DNA, all of that is false, So, I really do think she has played a part in, and as they call, banishing me,
Now, I know it's hard for you to talk about,
Right.
but you've discussed mentally, psychologically, what this has done to you. I mean, go over the years when you first started. How old were you when you first started learning about this? And then what did it do over the years?
Okay, over the years. When I first started learning, I was probably about 8 or 9. I was in school, and, my teachers, they would look at me, they would be whispering, it's Bill Clinton's son. His mother, the one that claims she had a baby by Bill Clinton. And, it's just difficult, growing up, house to house, not stable. It became difficult my whole life. So, I just thought about it, I'm like, there's something true to it that after all these years, they still put out false reports. 1999, 2000, the false DNA, all these articles that they put out that's false about me. But the article that my mother gave in 93, it's somebody bought rightful ownership to it, and it make you think. So 2 years ago, 2 years and a half ago, I started my Facebook page campaigning for me and Bill Clinton being my father. I wanted to know, and I've always wanted to know. I just never got any help. I reached out to lawyers and investigators. They would not look into my case, no one. So I started campaigning my own Facebook page and saying Bill Clinton my father, and I'm trying to get my story out.
Well, keep rolling. I love the fact now that you're relaxed. I can tell you're nervous. Who wouldn't be?
Right.
The head of CNN, Jeff Zucker, and it's all come out in WikiLeaks too. They order him. Don't talk about Bill Clinton's sex crimes.
Right.
Don't talk about Hillary's health. Don't talk about illegitimate children. Don't talk about it. He, quote, thinks it's a ridiculous hoax. Even though we went and looked at the Star, they never did the DNA test.
Yes, sir.
They did a, quote, test that wasn't even a DNA test. So
Correct.
That's how they do it. That's how they get away with it.
Correct.
And cover it. But, I mean, regardless, Bill Clinton's known for all of this. What do you just think about the general sense of what's happening in the country today?
I mean, I think a lot about it. Actually, I think, as far as she stand up and saying, oh, well, the kid, kids gonna be we're going to make sure kids have the rightful, taking care of them and rightful schools, and all this. I actually think that they are lies. And I think she's just using it to be in office.
And to be clear today, when I went there about an hour before he went on air, I said, listen, we've never really talked. We've talked over the phone a couple times. My crew has. You just flew in today. You've been talking to Biggs and stuff. I said, will you just please write notes on the questions you want me to ask? And you wrote these up. These are your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
These are your questions. One thing that got brought up is Bill Clinton a couple weeks ago got asked about his reported son, Dlnney Williams, by a YouTuber called Charlie in the Box. I want to skip this network break.
Right.
This is so important. I want to play this since you mentioned this, and just again go back to if you were really in the room with Bill Clinton, because you are in the room with him. He will watch this undoubtedly.
Yes, sir.
I mean, spill it out there, because you need to talk directly to him. Because I've talked to the Arkansas State Police back when I was being given these tips. Mm-hmm. Believe me, they didn't send people down here to get me fired and get my ass beaten.
Right.
Because you weren't his illegitimate son. They're concerned about this. I want to talk about your memories with Mama and the money and the presence, and which humanizes Bill.
Right.
And we're not just trying to demonize Hillary. She was the one even 20 years ago, before I knew she'd run for president, they were saying was shut this down. So I want to talk about that with Dlnney Williams, the reported son of Bill Clinton. But let's go ahead and play this clip here of the protester asking Bill Clinton about, well, not even a protester, he's there just at the gate as Obama comes by, shaking hands with the Secret Service, saying, what about Dlnney Williams? Here it is.
Thank you, Mr. Clinton.
Mr. Clinton, would you like to make a comment to Dlnney Williams? Mr. Clinton. Can you make a comment about Trump saying about rape allegations?
Hey, I don't want to hear any of that. Knock it off.
Can you get any comment about anything like that, please?
Stop. Hey, this is a monumental event for us. We don't want to hear it.
I know, but we got a lot of questions that aren't being answered from the American people.
They acted like Dlnney. They knew what was going on. Bill looked like, have a nice day when he looks at that camera. I don't want to dehumanize him, because I know he's got a lot of problems, but he did deliver money to you for how many years? How many?
All the way up until 93, he made presidency. My mom received $700 and $100 bills in her mailbox every month, and the Christmas presents on Christmas, driven by state trooper cars, dropping them off. So I believe in my heart he knows I'm his son, and I know I'm his son, because I see it through the features of me, the facial features, the chin, the nose, the ears.
You do look a lot like
that. Right. So, it's not that. I know what my dad looks like. He looks like me a lot. Exactly. So, all I want is the truth out. That's all I'm reaching for, the truth. This not no political scandal. I'm just here for the truth. Here it is right here. Now, I don't know what's going on. We flew you in. I'm busy. You're busy. I'm on micromanaging stuff. Yes, sir. All of a sudden, I guess during the break, the last hour and a half you were here, you did an interview with the crew, and they transcribed it. Yes. Bill Clinton's son tells Hillary, step aside. This just went up on Infowars.com. Did you write this before you got here, or just today? Because I'll be honest, they just walked in. I wrote that before I got here, and I'm asking her to step aside. All I want is a sample of his DNA to prove who I am, and my story is true today. We'll put that up on screen. Okay, well, I'm telling you, folks, he's running the show here today, Dlnney. And again, why did you choose us to bring this out? Because I choose y'all. I choose y'all for one. I need the world to know. And I'm trying to get as many as people I can to let me speak about on the truth of my story and why am I doing this today. I've been trying all my life to get this out. That's right. The media spins it like you just popped up now. Right. No. I was interviewing your aunt 20 years ago. No. It's been articles since 93, 99, 98, 95 when he ran for a second term. So, those articles when I was a kid. And now that I'm grown, And let's be clear, your mother said he was the only white man she was with. Right, correct. My mother explains to me all the time, her story never changed. It's always consisted of the same story. How did it start? You're 8 years old. What does Mama tell you? My mama told me that she dated him And, you know, she dated guys for money, you know, to afford to take care of us. So at the time, my mother had 2 older sons besides me. So she tell me, you know, how he's pick her up, you know, she destroyed his mother's house, you know, everything she destroys in 93.
And I've seen photos of your mother when she was young, very beautiful.
Right, very beautiful. She's never been always, you know, as people think she is. Oh, she's a drug addict, she's this, she's that. No, she always done what the best she could to take care of her.
She's been down a long road.
Right. And right now she's at this point in her life right now, she's still alive and she's driven by guilt on how we was brought up and what she could have done better. And, you know, and I feel that she's afraid to speak out public about this situation.
And tell her why. I mean, tell us why. We know what Hillary did. Tell us.
I mean, they try to hush her up. My mom been pushed out a 2-story window. She got metal plates in her foot.
By the way, nobody's heard this, but there's been threats. That's why everybody's freaked. Go ahead and tell people.
Right, I get threats today on Facebook. They tell me, oh, they cleansed.
Tell people what happened to your mother. Tell them what the police did. Tell them what the state police did. They're famous for breaking people's arms and legs.
Right.
I mean, Jennifer Flowers.
I was told that she was pushed out a 2-story window, and this was told by my mom. She got a metal plate from her bottom of her toes up to her ankle. And I was told that, you know, people was trying to kill her because of her claim of her having a son by Bill Clinton.
Now, bottom line, we're all risking our lives here. So please continue. Talk to Bill. I mean, this is what she gets. I mean, tell him.
Right. And today, Bill, all I want to do is to get the truth out behind who I am and that I am your son. And I would like for my kids, your grandkids, to meet you. I mean, it's more I can say right now. I mean, I'm really emotional and
say it. It's all right. I know you broke down crying today before earlier, and I know you've thought about suicide. Tell people to be honest. We're here.
I have thought about suicide before because I mean, you go through this. You know, people don't believe you. You know, you go through this. You're trying to reach your story out. People are like, oh, he's just a scam. He's this. He helping Trump. Trump never paid. I don't work for Trump. I work for myself. I done this 2 years ago before she even started running. She supposed to run in 2008 and made president.
I interviewed your aunt 19 years ago. Right. Has nothing to do with Trump.
Right. So, like I say, it's the truth on who I am and where I'm trying to go in my life. I know that with me getting my story out and helping my kids and I raised my kids and I helped raise my little sisters and brothers. I know that one day it is someone out there that might need my help and that'll go through the same thing I done went through in my life. So, you know, it's a destiny for me.
No, it makes sense. And I know you've talked about this privately, but if he'd behind the scenes just help out and be with the kids and recognize you, it's like you want to meet your dad. And then you got grandkids. These are grandkids. Like, I mean, let me tell you, if I had black grandkids, I'd want to know them.
Right, correct.
I mean, I don't care what color they are. I love them.
I had my first child at 16. I dropped out of school in 11th grade, working full-time in a donut shop to raise my child and my little sisters and brothers. So, like I said, it's been hard and rough for me traveling this road, but I'll never give up and I will not give up until, you know, he step up and say, yes, I'm willing to give you a sample. I'm willing to put this behind us.
So Bill Clinton give the sample and prove it wrong, but third parties watching it.
Right.
He got into it, folks, but his mother got threatened by the state police and Hillary in person to put her in prison or kill her. Then she got thrown out a window a month later. And we've already been threatened over this interview today, just so you know.